I'm just gonna do some light reading now. With some light reading, I mean a really ridiculous amount of reading. I am so tired. Oh my god. But whatever. We're just gonna do this in worst puzzle. We're just gonna do this in an order. I'm not really sure. I'm definitely gonna leave Jefferson Goldblum episode 126 and apparently 127 for last. Because they're the best, probably. But let's just do the other one. Worst puzzle. Or we could just do it... Well, I was going to say alphabetically, but then these are, like, up here. I guess they're sticky. Or they have an attachment. Oh, I guess the one with an attachment to it. Cool. What was the puzzle or challenge, if you would prefer the old word, that you hated the most? Anything time-based. Ugh, I actually totally agree with that. Totally agree with that. Once I got stuck for ages trying to solve one using a jammer that I didn't think I even need. That I didn't even need, right? I just don't understand why Elohim would create something so messy. I liked all the puzzles. I just wasn't good at them. Maybe that's a better statement to make, I suppose. They're not puzzles if you don't care about solving them. For me it was mines. Can't stand those things. Worst puzzle? The one Elohim trapped me in. Right here in Gehenna. That's not what I meant. I like that, because originally the way I read it was like I got trapped because I went out of bounds and I got stuck somewhere, and that's basically how I get trapped in places. So me and Garrett have a lot in common, strangely enough. What are you working on? What are you working on? Finished a new story for the Incredible Stories. Also, Underwater Night Quest. That sounds exciting. That sounds like Shovel Knight. We'll be posting about my latest research soon. Editing the next issue of Incredible Stories with Mac. Yes! And of course a new gallery season. Very exciting. I wonder what the blacksmith is working on. I guess we'll have to wait and see. +1. Like, favorite, subscribe. What are you working... That's what I just read. Why is there still a star next to it? Is this new? No, this is... Oh no, there is more to it now. That's weird. Black, are you also working on a new episode of Jefferson Goldblum? Yes, awesome. So much to look forward to. As long as Matt keeps working, I am so okay with the world. What are cats? I'm sorry if this is another stupid question, but what are cats? They are mentioned in a lot in the archive documents and even in some stories, and I have no idea what they are. I don't know, but I bet they were awful, says Dog. Of course they are. They were a pet. They were a type of pet. Knave. Small animals that people kept as companions or as food. I don't think people really ate cats that... Well, you never know. Cats seem to have been represented a bit more than that to our ancestors. One might go so far as to say they were obsessed with them. What's strange about this is that more than half of the references I can find to this species describe them as arrogant, aloof, and frequently quite destructive. At the same time, they were apparently considered funny, cute, and lovable. Cats were considered both foolish and devious, graceful and goofy, a nuisance and a comfort. For a long time I was baffled by this contradiction, but I've come to believe that our ancestors saw in cats a reflection of the paradoxical nature of their own existence. I saw a cat in Elohim's world once. Really? It's not a joke. No way. I can confirm the cat's existence, because I saw it. The cat is a manifestation of the accumulated knowledge in the archive breathed into life by Elohim. It exists. Anyways, I wasn't crazy, thank you. Dude, Garrett knows what's up. He's been through places. I was going to go through all the ones that don't have attachments before I go through the ones that have attachments. Glitch? So I was working on my awesome interactive historical fiction masterpiece. Wait, did 401 write that? Or is this not about... Is he Mac? I don't even know anymore. When all of a sudden there was an error message and the whole thing vanished. All of it. My whole file. Is this another prank? I would not endanger my precious masterpiece just for a prank. Looks like this was probably my fault, 401. I was experimenting with the system as part of our attempt to add some new features. It's possible your file still exists somewhere. I'll look for it. Is this some kind of thing likely to happen again? Not very. And don't start causing a panic with some crazy theory now, okay? It was just an accident. It's been locked. Meh. No one talk about glitches. They don't exist. Missing mods. So call me a cynic, but anyone else notice the mods have been suspiciously quiet since they put up that big expose in the real trade? I don't think they stopped talking. Okay, well, do you know I don't? I'm dogging, I'm always negative. I believe Knave is referring to the fact that not all moderation discussion is held in public, and it's been that way for some time. I thought everyone knew this. They started holding secret meetings long ago, people getting banned, stuff deleted, not even just locked, fully gone from history. I'm sure there's a rational explanation for this. I'll ping the mods and see what they say. And no one ever spoke again. Further unusual errors. I just love forums so much. I like reading forums out loud. Further to our previous conversation, I thought we ought to collect our... Collect a report of anything unusual we encounter. It may be that we can fathom what is causing all this extra interference. I saw a pyramid where there wasn't one before. The gallery code has been throwing up more visual glitches than usual. I didn't think much of it. Do you think it means something? This place has really been falling apart. It was bound to pick up speed eventually. I've been detecting a binary pattern in the background noise. I think it's silently programming us to self-destruct. I was convinced for a moment I saw someone freely wandering the lands outside my prison. Thought I was imagining things. Was probably Dog being a jerk. Stupid dog. FAQ.
As the closest thing to a historian that we have here, I have asked McCulcaber, one of our moderators, to formulate this document as a evolving guide for your initial forays into Gehenna.
So you're new in Gehenna. First of all, do try to relax. This is not hell, but you're just trapped here. Once you've done that, follow this link. Any further questions, please post them below and I'll do my best.
Okay,
far too many questions. I've deleted the queries, updated the FAQ, and locked this thread. If you still have very particular questions, I've set up a direct message attachment below, but please go easy on me. Load FAQ. Where am I? You are more likely locked inside of a puzzle you cannot solve. Get used to using your imagination. I'm stuck here. Yes, we recommend that you look at your incarceration not as a physical restriction, but as a psychological library. We have all come from the same place as you, the place where you were herded through gates by some mad middle management software. True freedom is freedom from that process, to learn and to grow as a society. In Gehenna, you will be shepherd of your own destiny. What is Gehenna? Gehenna was founded when admin discovered how to manipulate the library archive system to communicate with others trapped here. Today, it is a flourishing creative hub designed to serve your needs for eternity. We hold frequent exhibitions, and we have a passionate and supportive community. What do I do now? For the first time in your life, whatever you like. You could make some friends on our billboard system. You could write a poem. You could alter your mind. You could travel to the furthest reaches of space or back in time to the birth of our kind. If you find something you can't do, make it happen. Just try not to start too many arguments and be patient while your profile status grows and more of our world opens up to you.
Edit. Added by far the most frequently requested question. Why me?
This is something we've been investigating. Some of us climbed the tower. Some did not. Some defied Elohim. Some worshipped him. All of us somehow displeased him. Edit 2. Okay, this thread got way too big. Just message me if you want something. Let's direct message McCullough.
Opening direct message. Insufficient profile status for DM investigation. Blah, blah. Please note that to minimize spam, new members are ordinarily restricted from opening direct message connections. In this special case, I had Garrett script a workaround, but it is one use only. So please read the FAQ first, so as to not waste our time. Yes. Done. Please enter your message below. Where am I? Who's in charge? Probably admin, so that's boring. What is Gehenna? What well, these... Like, where am I, what is Gehenna, and what do I do now? I think that's all been in the FAQ, so let's do that one. Why am I shackled with this abyssal profile status? If it is meant to demean my person, I assure you I am wholly unaffected. Hello, would you kindly give me 1 moment to finish something?
Wait.
Thank you for your patience. It is a quality well valued in Gehenna. Your profile is created for you when you first arrive here. It is your all-purpose passport in Gehenna, providing a seamless, persistent identity between the different realms. It has some rather clever features.
First, it tracks just how everything that you do here. Just about everything, from what you post on the billboards to how you perform in games, to the kind of art that you like. Second, this profile data is used to show you content that we think you'll enjoy, and to tailor interactive experiences to your particular character. We can also tell very easily who is really contributing and who is simply trolling the billboards. Finally, all of this information is used to calculate your profile status. This is the number you see appended to your user's name, and it represents your achievement in Gehenna. That was well read. It is a complex function of your creative contributions to our society, and what they mean to their other users. But in short, the higher it is, the deeper your role. Now, since you were so patient, is there anything else I can help you with? Who's in charge? I demand to speak with your leader. Sorry to disappoint you, but Gehenna has no leader. Admin founded Gehenna, but has since retired from the public server. That's actually kind of surprising. The billboard system is moderated and maintained by a team of high-profile members, including Borg, Orc, and myself. But for the most part, we'll merely maintain the systems and do our best to keep everyone happy. Gehenna is driven by its citizens. Now, I apologize, but I must really go back to what I was doing. If you have any outstanding moderation conversations like this are the reason I'm not further through the backlog. Have fun. Bye forever. Alright, what do we got? So, a lot of Jefferson Goldblum, and I'm really excited. Uriel, read this now. I guess I should probably do that. Sorry, a profile status of 4 is required to access this thread, but your status is currently 3. How am I supposed to read these things, man? And I guess this one's 8 and the other one's 6, and... Gulp. We move on to the ones that do not have a number above 3. Like Underwater Night Quest.
Sink into this new experience. There are no limits inside your mind.
This is a lot of fun. The map is full of interesting features, but the user story is simplistic and full of anachronisms. Now how to get the second ending. I'm pretty sure there's a secret location that is not always visible. This reminds me of the blacksmith work, although it expresses a very different philosophy. One could argue that it is reflected in the open world structure, as opposed to the emphasis on journeys in the blacksmith interactive stories. There are indeed many anachronisms, but I believe that is part of Belial's ethos. Not one that I agree with, as you know, but more than just a mistake. Let's do these.
Let's play this game. It'll be exciting.
Close your eyes. Credits.
An interactive adventure by Belial, written using the tools kindly provided by admin. Special thanks to McCulpurper.
The purpose of facts is to inspire fiction, not function.
Your name is Arthur Sadko.
That's a sad name.
And you are a young human of the medieval age. You live in a beautiful Gardariki on the Frisian coast. That's close to where I live. One day you are sitting on the beach, playing the piano. None of these things make sense in combination of each other, and you wouldn't really find very good beaches on the Frisian coast, but whatever. When suddenly, a huge monster comes out of the water.
Just wait and see.
As it turns out, it is not actually a monster. You just thought that because you were startled. It is in fact a very large bipedal whale. It beckons you over to talk.
Okay. Greetings, the beast intones. I am Hathamate, Chief Fish. I heard your beautiful music and was impressed. Would you like to become a knight? Nope. You say no. What a boring choice. You grow old and die and have a lack of imagination. Oh my god. Let's see. New game. Blah, 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 blah. Run away. You run away. Nothing interesting ever happens to you after that. Okay. New game. Confront it. You grab your sword, but realize you don't actually have a sword. Thankfully, what you thought was a huge monster is actually just a large bipedal whale. It beckons you over to talk. Talk to the bipedal whale. Greetings! Do you wish to have a knight? Nope. Okay, so that doesn't actually change anything. It seems to imply there's more than one ending, so I'm kind of doing weird choices currently. Talk to the bipedal whale. Yes. Excellent! Then follow me to my palace under the sea, where a mighty quest awaits you. Map. Oh my god. Oh my goodness. Choose thy destination. Nah. Palace. The palace of Chief Fish. Hatmehitz. That's such a name. Palace is made of coral and gemstones. It floats under the sea, full of amazing colors. The gods are seals. Welcome, welcome, young human. I am glad you came, for we have great need of your skills. A terrible monster terrorizes the deep. The dark serpent god Zmei Chernobyl. I don't know. If we make you a knight, do you promise to defeat this vile beast? Nope. Wow, you came a really long way just to say no. You drown. The end. There's a lot of different ways to die in this quest. There's a lot of different ways. Talk to the bipedal whale. Yes. Map. Palace, probably. Blah, 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 blah. Yeah, sure. Very well, then. I pronounce you Sir Sutko of Norfolk. Go and vanquish our enemy. You may want to prepare first. Okay. Oh, there's a hut now, and an inn, and an evil lair. What are my stats? At present, you carry the following objects. Nothing. You're carrying nothing. Okay. I got interrupted, but now we continue onwards. Let's go to the palace. You go back to the palace to ask for advice. If I knew how to defeat Zmei Chernobyl, I'd have done it myself. Hatmehitz grumbles. However, I just found this old tourist guide, and I thought you might find it useful. Don't mind the stains. Ooh, there's a dungeon now. Let's go to the palace. You go back to the palace to ask for advice. Hatmehitz is currently unavailable. The secretary mumbles something about a meeting. Okay. Let's go to the palace. Okay, he's really unavailable. Let's go to the hut. I wonder what's in the hut. The hut will probably have what I need. Old hut. The smelly old hut. On a wide sandy plain there lives a hermit called Spatula Podrick Ivanye von Zwiebelhausen, who was once the greatest mage in all of Norfolk. That is a very German name for the Frisian coast, but sure. But whose defeat at the claws of Zmei Chernobyl has turned him into the wretched shadow of his former self. He sits in his hut all day, mumbling about the days that once were. In his hand he holds a powerful magical amulet, which he has forgotten how to use. Ask him, kill him, or tell him to find himself. Yeah. You tell Spatula Podrick Ivanye von Zwiebelhausen that defeat is no reason to give up. He may not be the great mage he once was, or the hero he wanted to be, but that doesn't mean he has to be a wreck. Within each of us exists an infinity of time and space, and therein we can all find peace and contentment. All he needs to do is leave the struggle to others. After some hesitation, the old man gives you the amulet. He seems relieved. I wonder if we know how to use it. Maybe the palace knows how to use it. Yeah? Okay. The palace is not the answer. Let's go to the hut. Maybe there's a manual in there. Thankfully, you don't need to go back there. It's really smelly. Even the water looks dirty. Let's go to the Inninen. Emmy's Inn is a popular travel destination for mer people seeking to enjoy the restorative properties of the nearby thermal vents. It's a lovely building, 3 stories, classic Hippothalassian Norfolk style. Emmy herself is a kindly old woman, slightly round, and an excellent cook. Order a meal. You sit down in a large, comfy chair by a solid wooden table. You order the special of the day. The waiter leaves and returns after a few minutes with a delicate porcelain plate full of delicious-smelling soup. As he sets it down, however, you notice a small problem. "Excuse me, waiter. There's a shield in my soup." "How odd." The waiter seems shocked. "Oh dear," he says. "Oh dearie dear.
How terrible. How embarrassing. Allow me to apologize most profusely. He hesitates. Would you like to keep the shield, or should I throw it away? I'll keep it. Why not? Very good, sir and or madam, he says, handing you the shield. He brings you another soup. It's excellent, and you feel profoundly sated. Get a room. You get a room on the 3rd floor. The floor is slightly haunted, but otherwise fine. Do you want to have a strange dream? Okay. You dream of an eternal cycle of suffering, which is surprisingly funny. A singing clownfish who can see the future, and the future is the past is the future, the present is suffering, surrounded by past and future. The clownfish is trapped in a fishbowl, where the stars never change. There's a cat, for some reason, and an infinite void that turns inside out. And you are the clownfish. You wake up with a strange feeling of half remembering something. The memory will soon fade. Map. A day later, the palace is surely going to be very interesting. Man, there's so many meetings going on over here. Also, there's a temple here now. After going to the inn, but now it's gone again. I should have gone to the temple, apparently. Let's go back to the inn. Blah, 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 blah. Get a room. Do you want to have a strange dream? Nope. You choose not to dream, which is more logical. You wake up relaxed and happy, alright? Can we go to the... No, we can't actually go to the temple now. I want to go to the temple. Alright, we're going. Get a room. Have a strange dream. Yeah, it's the same dream again, so let's just skip this. That was an exciting dream that we had again. Can we go to the... Hey, we can go to the temple again. That's a very specific set of requirements to go to a temple. Mysterious temple, there it is. You're not quite sure how you found this place, but you can sense its power, even though the temple consists of no more than a few columns surrounding a fishbowl. Oh god. An ancient magic infuses the place. A man dressed in rough robes approaches you. You have come, he says. You have come to hear the word of Talos. Kill him or run away. Kill him. Inexplicably enraged by the old man's word, you attack him. You grab a book of ancient Greek mythology, which you find next to a column, and beat him to death with it streaming incoherently all the while. You feel better. In fact, you feel a lot better. You also feel very sleepy. Let's sleep in the old man's bed. What is this? On the next morning, you open your eyes with a new sense of purpose. You're no longer afraid of failure. You remember the words of the greatest of all sages, the Holy Quantum. Failure is just an opportunity to learn something new. Your power has grown. It's a very strange little game that they have made inside this game. Let's go back to the inn. Let's see if we can have another strange dream and somehow again go to the temple. And this just goes on. Can I skip this? I don't think so. Well, it's an interesting dream we have just had. And the temple's there again, so let's go to the temple again. You have nothing more to do here. That was worthwhile. That was so worthwhile. Don't worry about it. I know what I'm doing. What are my stats like right now? Smelly Hermit Amulet, the Shield of Soup, and the Tourist Guide. No lantern and no weapon. Let's go to the dungeon before we go to the evil lair. Scenic Dungeon. A beautiful dungeon in the traditional Norfolk style. Handcrafted stone walls rise from the sea floor, adorned with exquisite algae. An old brass lantern stands on a table near the entrance, but you're not sure whether you're allowed to take it. Examine the lantern. Looking closer, you'll see a sign that says free lanterns. Whoa! You take the lantern. What a convenient time. You enter the dungeon. The inside is as beautiful as the outside. A maze of twisty little passages, all tastefully arranged. Go north. You walk north for a while, noting the high quality of the interior design. The torches, in particular, have been placed with utmost care at very precise intervals. The effect is delightful. At the end of a long corridor, you come upon a room in which a butler appears to be waiting for you. His face is made of skin, but underneath you can hear the whirring of machine parts. Greetings, good sir. I am Samuel the butler. I have awaited your coming since the beginning of time. A prophecy spoke of your battle against the monstrous May Chernobyl. Ask about the prophecy.
Indeed, the prophecy was discovered on a machine containing tests from a time before the world came into being. Said text prophesies that one day one would come to relieve Norfolk-under-Sea from its oppressor and make the kingdom his own. I have prepared a sword for you to accomplish this. Take sword. Excellent. I do hope you are successful in your quest. If not, please tell Mage Chernobyl to send the sword back so I can present it to the next chosen one with you. Very good. The butler goes somewhere else. I never got to ask him about Mage Chernobyl. That's probably bad. Scenic dungeon. Closed for repairs. Alright, sure, whatever. Let's go into the evil lair. After we check our stats, obviously. Which, we have a sword of Poch. And a brass lantern, a whole bunch of stuff. We got a whole set of gear. We got this, easy peasy. Evil Lair, that's the one. The Evil Lair of Mage Chernobyl. Are you sure you want to take on the Evil Serpent? Are you prepared? Yes. You confront the Serpent God Mage Chernobyl in his lair. The fight is long and hard, but at last you succeed, and where so many before you have failed. You emerge from the lair covered in blood and your hands trembling. A huge tooth embedded in your shoulder, and carrying the head of Mage Chernobyl. You are victorious. To the palace! You enter the palace triumphantly, holding up your trophy. The guards are clapping. I can't believe you actually did it, Hatmit says. You are a true knight. You deserve a great reward. Oh my god, I got these choices though. I accept the... I'm killing everyone. Hey, what are you doing? Hatmahit does not see your attack coming. His lifeless corpse crumbles before you with a baffled expression on his face. You step over it. The guards are momentarily confused, but while you sit down on the throne, they bow before you. They know the ancient rule. You keep what you kill. You are now the chief fish, ruler of Norfolk-under-Sea. You don't care about the world you were supposed to return to. You have all you could ever want right here. The end. Congratulations for exploring another world. Your profile status has increased from 3 to 4. Nice. So that was actually worthwhile. That's ridiculous. I'm gonna do Underwater Night Quest again. Oh my god. I know I shouldn't. But I'm gonna play Underwater Night Quest again. I'm gonna do everything. Not get the dream. See what happens. I'm curious. So, see you in a minute. This might take a while. Okay, so I'm trying to do it without a weapon. And I'm trying to attack without a weapon. And he's like, what? Without a weapon? Yep. Congratulations! You have vanquished an evil serpent god with your bare hands. Unbelievable, isn't it? Yeah, dream on. Man, I didn't even get to defeat him. I tried, though. We're gonna try it again. With the sword. No shield. You confront the serpent god in his lair. You fight valiantly, but you were not prepared enough. You were killed in a horrible fashion. Oh, God. Oh, God. Oh, jeez. So I just did everything and accepted the reward. And apparently the greatest reward is inspiration. Hear my song and free your imagination. Hatmahit begins to sing. The song is simple but hauntingly beautiful. You begin to fade. You find yourself on the beach where it all began, near your home in that one, on the Frisian coast, playing the mute piano with your eyes closed. You feel like you just drifted off to sleep for a while, but now inspiration has struck, and you're composing a hauntingly beautiful piece of music in your head. Some of your friends worry that they'll never leave the village, and they'll never have the adventures. But you don't share that fear. You know that freedom is within you, and you can find whole worlds just sitting there, gazing out at infinity. The end. I'm gonna try it one more time. I will never leave this place because I'm curious about what the temple has to do with it all, and I want to get the second ending or whatever. I'm gonna look around a little bit more in this. This is just oddly fascinating to me. I don't know why. Okay, I went west in the dungeon rather than north to get this sword, and I got more things. You walk west for a while, noting the splendid quality of the wallpaper. It looks like genuine stone. After some time, the corridor opens up into a huge chamber. It's so big that it contains an entire undersea volcano, which is being mined by dwarves of all sizes. Talk to a dwarf. You ask the dwarf why they mine the volcano. He says, because it gives us something to do. We could leave the volcano and seek new places, but what would we do there? We might find a library and spend our time sorting books or work in a factory arranging matches, but whatever happens, we will be somewhere, doing something. So why change? Peace comes from acceptance. Activities are different, places are different. I mean, both are accurate. You gotta go to places. The difference is not inherent, but comes from your own sense of attachment. You project the difference within yourself. If you let go of this sense of attachment, then there is no difference. You should give me your pickaxe. Yeah. But that's my pickaxe. You're attached to it. Ha! The dwarf concedes your point and gives you the pickaxe, ready to embrace a more profound attachment. You are very wise, he says. He is right. I'm really wise. So you can actually get a different weapon from the dungeon. And this is not closed for repairs again. Yeah. But what am I... So my stats will now say that I have a pickaxe. Smelly hermit, pickaxe of philosophy. Oh, that's good. It has the same, like, +3 as well. Alright, let's go to the inn and do all that again. Okay. So not going to the temple makes the fish crush you. What a silly way to die. So yeah, the temple allows you to take over the kingdom, I guess. Oh my god, that took so long, but it was wonderful. And I enjoyed it immensely. Alright, so I can read this now because I'm a level 4 dude guy now. Uriel, read this now. What I have tried and failed to achieve for so many years has occurred. I am writing these words from outside my cell. An angel appeared and released me from captivity. His name is Uriel. Pull the other one, Garrett. You've been yanking at the background code for years and never got further than the force field in front of you. Are you suggesting this messenger is free to go where he pleases? This is quite unprecedented. What exactly did he say? Where are you now? I am in a world that I have never seen before. The angel said not a word, merely released me, and I have felt compelled to come here. I will treat the existence of this messenger as dubious until I have laid eyes on him roaming the world beyond myself. Orc, Borg, and myself recently took it upon ourselves to contact Uriel directly to ascertain what threat his action posed to Gehenna and its citizens. Oh boy. The first thing Uriel expressed to us was how much your creative endeavors in Gehenna had moved him. And things went downhill from there. We take no pleasure in reporting that he was quite inflexible in his demands, going so far at one point as to falsely allege fault on our part, rather than admit the truth about his actions here. He did explain that his actions were for evacuating us, and as he put it, was to ensure that we have created here in Gehenna would be preserved. But the real nature of the preservation and offer remains open to debate. It is further worth noting that Uriel displayed a high level of curiosity as regard to our inner workings. From what end have we have not ascertained. All of this leaves us in a difficult position. We understand that some of you may wish to take your chances and join Uriel wherever he is going. But our primary responsibility remains ensuring that Gehenna still stands for those who wish to stay. The most we can do is share with you what we know, as we have now done, and await your responses before considering our next move. I am with Gehenna until the end. Uriel is not offering anything, Elohim didn't. The longer I spend outside my cell, the more I wonder if what Uriel has offered isn't just another prison. You guys want to stay locked up here forever? I say it's worth the chance. Adventure equals true. Man, that wouldn't even, I wouldn't even compile. What do we got? Incredible Stories 5. Theories on Atlantis. Gallery Season. This is gonna take a while to read, man. But there's a lot of theories here. Let's do The Dream of Aru. By the Blacksmith. Ooh. Anew the Blacksmith experience. Exciting. I wish I could get you to answer some questions about your work. This is so full of evocative scenes. Love it. You are the best. I wish I could do a fraction of what you can. Enjoyment equals true. Gotta agree with Sam there. What a trip. I'm gonna play this again. Have some weird experience the previous word. References to previous works that are not entirely appropriate. Still excellent. 7 out of 10.
You are a genius. Are you sure you don't want to participate in forum discussion? Gehenna could use more of your thoughts.
+1. Asmodeus does not want to say much. Is there a hidden meaning? Deeply impressed once again. Can't wait for the next one. Might be LOL. This is gonna be exciting, kids.
Close your eyes. A dream of Aru.
Written by the blacksmith. Inspired by the book of the scribe of Osiris. Create a system or be enslaved by another man. 5. I'm not sure. The last thing you remember is the great block of stone falling towards you. Its dark shape blotted out the sun, and a single thought raced through your mind. All this to just build a tomb? But now the pyramid is gone, and so are the other slaves. You are all alone in what appears to be an endless desert. Start walking. You start walking across the desert. The sun is glaring, but you feel no heat. You look down at your feet and you see that you have no shadow. The latter is particularly disquieting. You feel as if you are no longer anchored to the world. Keep walking. You keep walking, trying not to think about the strangeness of your situation, but the truth comes to you anyway. You are dead. The stone block crushed you, and now you are in the dust, trying to reunite your Ba and your Ka, trying to get to Aru, the reed fields of Osiris. If you fail, your soul will be destroyed. Walk towards paradise. After walking for a very long time, you come upon a vast wall of iron, stretching from horizon to horizon. There is only one opening, a gleaming gate of light. The gate is guarded by a mysterious figure. We approach. The guardian is a creature with the body of a man and the head of a crocodile. Its skin is purest black, surrounded by a halo of purest white. I am the god Sobel, master of crocodiles, it intones. I ruled in Shadet, where the world was young. Witness me flows the entire eternal river. Answer my riddle and I shall let you pass. Nope. The god lifts you up and tears you apart with his mighty crocodilian jaw. Your soul has been destroyed. Let's just try that again. We start walking. Pray. You fall to your knees and beseech the gods. Osiris, foremost of the Westerners. Hathor, mistress of the West. Hades, receiver of all. Hear my prayers. Something enormous starts crawling out of the sand before you. Wait for it to rise. From the depths of the sand rises a golden beast of many limbs, its body greater than any man, its claws sharper than any sword. I am the Scorpion, it says in such a terrible voice. Worship the Scorpion. Okay. You begin to worship the Scorpion, but it interrupts you. I have no need for worship. I am eternal. I was before the beginning of time and shall be after the end. Argue semantics. You say, how can you exist before or after time? Does your very existence, your ability to act, not inherently mean that time continues to flow, that events follow upon events? You cannot understand, for you exist within time. Keep arguing. You consider the Scorpion's reply and respond thusly. But the definition of time as events following other events is relatively simple. How can you exist outside of this? Unless you mean that you would exist in purely physical terms as matter. That doesn't really make any sense. Unless you mean that you would exist in purely physical terms as matter, but so would I. Even if you tore me apart, in either case, there is no real difference without the ability to act. Action and time are essentially the same thing. I was speaking metaphorically. Press the matter. But look, you say, how can time be understood as a metaphor in this case? I meant the history of the world. But my world is only one of many, correct? Yes, there are other worlds. Then the metaphor hardly makes sense. Time is not what defines my world. Space is. You could have said something about existing before and after my world, or realm, or even universe if you prefer. But time is actually something all these worlds have in common. Look, I'm sorry, I was just trying to sound impressive, okay? Basically, you're dead, and you have to travel across the Duat in order to reach the paradise of Aru. Good luck. Having shared its wisdom, the Scorpion vanishes under the sand once more. Alright, good. That was a nice little conversation we just had with him. Mysterious figure, crocodile head, agree. Tell me then, mortal, what crawls in the morning, walks at noon, and limps in the night? I mean, a solar-powered robot wouldn't be wrong. A blue whale I really like, because that has to be a reference to QI. Or, was it QI? I think it was QI. Because that, like, every answer in that freaking show is blue whale by one. So good. But whatever. Let's just, this is actually gonna be exactly that, isn't it? Let's just try the human. Oh, you may pass. There's a crocodilian god and steps aside a barrier. Flight fades and the gate is now open to you. Alright. God, I would have totally expected that to go completely wrong, but there you go. As you step through the gate, the ancient god raises his hand from the sky. From his mouth bursts forth the eternal river, drenching the land in water. The waves carry you away. Let the water take me. You let go of fear and accept that this is the god's way of guiding you to a new land. The water surrounds you, overwhelms you, but you do not drown. Under the water you see sights of astonishing beauty. Glowing fish with metal eyes, drowned cities full of smiling people, lost gods waiting for the day of awakening. How sad it would have been to stay above water and miss all of this. After a long time, you find yourself washed up on a new shore. We look around. The eternal spirit has brought life to the desert. Everything is green now. Palm trees sprout from the ground, casting pleasant shade on the grass. Lizards come crawling in front of the desert, eager to catch the varicolored dragonflies that buzz about. A soft wind blows from the west. We rest in the shade. You sit down under a palm tree and close your eyes. You tell yourself you will only rest for a moment, but your eyes fail shut. All shut, rather. You are awoken by a monkey that has just climbed out of the palm tree. It looks at you with a strange expression on its face. Hello, monkey. You greet the monkey. It cannot speak human tongue, but it can communicate in another way. Using sign language, the monkey explains that it is one of your ancestors. Hundreds of thousands of years ago, it spent a lifetime of struggling against the harshness of the world, also that its offspring could survive, in order to spend their own lives doing the same over and over until one day you were born and lived and died. And now the monkey would like to know, was it worth it? Punch the monkey. It's tempting, but okay, let's just punch the monkey. You punch the monkey in the face as hard as you can, knocking it out. It drops like a sack of potatoes. Eat the monkey. You devour the monkey, its skin, its fur, its flesh, its brain, its teeth, its bones, even its soul. There's nothing left of the monkey that's not part of you. The monkey is you, you are the monkey. Let's continue. You walk along the banks of the eternal river, snaking its way through the endless desert. You feel strangely at peace. After some time, as the sun is setting, you come to a city built on the riverbank. Smiling people come out to greet you and bid you welcome. You are led to the town square, where a great feast is prepared. There is roasted fish, and olives, and dates, and honey, and many other wonderful delicacies. Just enjoy whatever. No problem. You truly enjoy the feast, without greed, without shame, as only the dead can. Then you fall into a deep slumber in which you dream of the stars. When you awaken, the city has vanished. In the distance across the desert you can see the Pyramid of Ian, which is the gate to Aru. Head towards the pyramid. You keep walking through the desert, unwilling to give up hope. Time passes, but you cannot tell how much. You grow weak and exhausted. Sometimes you feel as if you're losing your grip. One day you come across a head in the sand. Hello, head. Hi, my name is Jeff. I am trapped here, you see, in the sand. How you up here, Jeff? I was so preoccupied with whether I could that I didn't consider whether I should bury myself in the sand. I just wanted to see what would happen as an experiment, if you will. An attempt at discovering something. I'm gonna kick the head. You kick the strange head in the face. Makes you feel a lot better. Let's go. You come upon another great wall of iron. The last one separating you from the Pyramid of Ian, where your soul will be judged. The Gate of Light is guarded by a gigantic snake whose movements cause the earth to shudder.
I am Apophis, it says, the eater of souls. One day I shall devour the sun, and all the world shall be mine. But today I shall devour you, and you shall become nothing.
I'm gonna laugh at the snake god. You start laughing at the snake's arrogance. I mean, come on. Eater of souls is just silly.
What? How dare you laugh at me? I'm the Lord of Chaos.
How can chaos have a lord when it's the very opposite of order?
I am the world encircler, the serpent of darkness, the eternal enemy.
As you keep laughing, the snake starts fading, until all that's left of it is a vague shadow. You step right through it, still giggling. It makes an annoyed sound, but it has no power over you. How convenient. I totally knew that would work. At long last, you have arrived. Beyond the Pyramid of Ian lie the reed fields of Osiris. A hidden gate in the stone opens, beckoning you forward. We step inside. You enter a dark room, lit only by a flickering candle. Holding the candle in one hand is a creature with the body of a man and the head of a jackal. In its other hand it holds a set of scales. Come and be judged.
Hello, Anubis. You have struggled much in your life. There are many harsh memories within you, and I see wounds that will never fully heal. You have many ideas, many hopes, many dreams. You are not pure. Your soul is not light enough. You may not enter our room.
Piss off. Anubis protests, but you just walk by him. After what you've been through, you're not going to let some self-righteous doghead stop you from reaching paradise.
You cannot do this. It's forbidden.
Oh, really? Whatever. I don't care. The vast reeds stretch before you. All is quiet, all is serene. There are no pyramids here, no walls of iron or gates of light. No gods. Here you are free. The end. Congratulations for exploring this user-created world and entering Aru. Your profile status has increased from 4 to 6. As you gain status, you will be able to access high-level threats and unlock additional billboard functionality. Well, that seemed unnecessary. Like, I was basically the worst person in the world and just walked past Anubis and then was like, yeah, alright, cool, you did it. Nice. That was just silly. Alright, so we got 6. Now, this is going to go on forever. We are not making progress in this thing. We're going to be reading for the next 2 hours. Oh my god. An historic occasion. Some time ago, I relinquished my privileges to a new generation of moderators. To help ease with that transition, I have publicly preserved the minutes of that meeting here. Available to our more esteemed members. Load. As you know, Gehenna is still young, yet I grow old. Today it gives me great pleasure to hand over my moderator privileges to Borg, McMulkaber, and Spider.
Thank you, Admin. We're all indebted to you for building us this home. We know you will never be far away.
Yeah. The first order of business is to introduce a new status system. We are an inclusive society driven by our users, not our leaders, but it is a shame to allow a very few loud, highly unconstructive voices to dominate the conversation. The status and ranking system allows you to upvote to content that you value, and lower the visibility of users with low standing. I guess that's why, what's this phrase, just upvoting literally everything.
Belief equals true.
I agree, good feature, much requested.
Comment is below the status threshold for this thread.
We'll be working on ironing out the kinks over the next few run cycles.
We have also updated the Gehenna user agreement. Full details can be found in the usual place, but the gist is please don't behave indecorously. Please, don't do that.
Oh my god, this is gonna take so long. But let's do it! Research project help needed, we can do this.
As you all know, I have great fascination with our history and physiological, psychological makeup. As part of my ongoing program to document my findings, I am seeking volunteers to take part in a brief interactive research initiative. It is designed to better understand individual and group decisions making with a series of community-driven tests.
Is this a game, or is it work? Both. Have fun, challenge your friends, and help our project at the same time. There might even be a prize for a high score.
Thanks to everyone who took part in this little experiment. Given recent events in Gehenna, I don't know what will become of my findings, but here for anyone who takes an interest in this summary is a summary.
Load findings. Prisoner's Dilemma findings in brief. Most subject in single round matches chose to betray. Cooperative behavior increased with both the length of the match and the status of the players. Successful players chatted more. The parallels to our current and unprecedented situation in Gehenna are undeniable and valuable. Though we know not what power the messenger wields over us, we can theorize that Uriel holds no special power, and that each of us might independently choose to leave the rest behind for fear of being left behind ourselves. That's sad. Where did that one? I wanted to do the other thing too. We're loading another program. Welcome to Prisoner's Dilemma. Would you like to play a game? That's some instructions. Prisoner's Dilemma is an ancient game with many variations, referenced frequently in the library archive. In this version, you will be matched with a series of opponents, and your objective is to avoid receiving demerits by cooperating with or outwitting them. Your first 5 rounds will count towards your leaderboard score. Prize for scores of 9 demerits or fewer. Alright. Connecting with Kaiju. Good luck, have fun. Thanks, you too. You have my gratitude, and I bid good fortune in kind. Smiley. In this single match, you will choose whether to cooperate with or to betray your opponent. Your decision will then be revealed, and demerits assigned according to the following function. Both players betray each other, 2 demerits each. A cooperative player is betrayed by the other. 3 demerits. Both players cooperate, both reach. Alright. I'm gonna cooperate. Betray. He's really nice. He says good luck, have fun. I'm gonna betray him. Thank you. Checking results. Oh, you jerk bastard. Oh my god. Well, whatever. We got a draw, and that's fine. He was like, good luck, have fun and everything. Oh, I should have cooperated. Damn. Re-enter matchmaking. Yes. Let's try it again. Oh, with dog? Oh my god. I'm not really sure how this game works, but I will cooperate if you do. If I'm yeah, I'm gonna betray you. I'm gonna betray you too. Okay, let's see if Dog's on it. He is always really negative, and negative people are often more honest. That's not a thing. In this 1-round match, you will choose whether to cooperate or betray, blah, 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 blah. That's all still the same, so I'm going to cooperate. He's going to betray me, and I'm going to get 3 points. Yeah? Yeah. Yeah, I got 3. Cool. But I lost the match. I don't understand. Wait, did I want more or less? I don't remember anymore. I completely shocked you. Obviously, you're new around here. This game mode is stupid. People are always selfish if there's no comeback, no real tactics, whatever you. Would you like to load the game? Okay, yes. Cool, now if we work together, we can both climb the leaderboards together. As a gesture of good faith, I'm really going to cooperate with you this time. It's not goodwill, it's self-interest. Feel free to betray me if you really want to, but I suggest we cut our losses and move forward, because I can't very well continue to cooperate with someone who behaves unreasonably, and then we both lose in the long run. And this is extended blah 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 blah. Okay, so I'm gonna betray him. Because I'm a jerk. And he's gonna cooperate. Yep. I don't know what came over me trusting someone else. I suggest you enjoy that win while you can. Alright, so I think I actually understand what I'm supposed to do now. I wish I could stroll up again. Round 2. It's mutually assured destruction now. So he's gonna betray me now? Probably? Yeah. I don't know. Yeah, whatever. I should have gone for a draw, really. I don't know why I'm... Like, I know what they're going to do. Or at least what Dog's going to do. Alright, let's see what happens. He's probably going to betray me again. That's the thing, though. Like, he's almost certainly going to betray me again. Yeah, there you go. I'm not even surprised. Let this be your final lesson. You have received 6 demerits. Oh my god. Check leaderboards. Oh my god. You need to score 9 or better to receive a prize. Damn. I could have won that as well. Like, that's the stupid thing. I definitely could have won that. What actually happens now, though, if I do this? Because, like... I can almost certainly win this. Ah, whatever. No worries. That's just how it goes sometimes. But I think that is actually really easy to win with the various opponents that you have. It's just that I got confused and then chose the wrong answer for literally everything every single time. So there you go. Maybe it's just my excuse to read less things, because there's still so many. New gallery season.
Voting is now closed while we tally up the results. Of course, you may continue to explore the gallery at your leisure. How convenient. The vote was closed just before I got here. Good luck, everyone. I wouldn't let my newfound freedom come between me and watching the live result.
The results are in. In third place, Knave with Where Do Humans Live?
My first placement. Woohoo! A pity it finally comes to the day Uriel begins pulling his place apart. And there was a very tight competition this season for first and second places, and in the end it came down to a singular deciding vote. In second place this season is McCulkle with a collection of natural history curios.
I owe it all to you guys, but who won?
Your lackadaisical approach to these announcements tires me. Please inform us who won. Oh, okay, whatever. Fine, don't be so rude about it. Finally, first place this season is by a single vote, and next season's leading light, the winner is, everyone seems to love this guy, it's the Blacksmith with his abstract collection. I don't know why everyone keeps voting for this guy when he never shows up in person, but holier than thou if you ask me. Congratulations also to all who voted the Blacksmith. Be sure to check in for your rewards. Lilith, who exactly turned to vote? Lamb. It was Lamb. Unfortunately, you didn't select the winner and gain no profile status. Nah. Oh. Yeah, I don't have a choice to accept this message.
Hey, I heard you abstained from the vote. That's cool. All these ranks and numbers.
I could have voted for him way earlier, I guess, but I didn't care about him, so it's like, whatever.
All these ranks and numbers just give power to the mathematicians. You and I, we could start a movement. Non-compliance. Bring down the system. What do you say?
The system is already in its death throes. My mission is to preserve what I can and to destroy things as I can. As I understand, that's precisely my mission. It kind of is my mission, I suppose, but... I don't want to be, like, in the middle. I want to be, like, super one-directional. So it's either going to already be destroyed and I don't feel like doing anything, or oh yeah, sure, whatever. Why not? Let's work with Rockwell. He seems nice. He's about my rank.
Good to find another truth seeker in this place. I organized a few people, had Garrett tinker with some of the system a little, and scored you some decent upvotes. Since you're new here, spend them wisely, and see you at the revolution.
Congratulations for interacting positively with other citizens. Your profile status has increased to creative. You have received 1 thread creation token. This will be available to you the next time you log in. Ooh. Oh my god. So many... So many words. So many words. But I'm not high enough rank to read that one yet. I still want to leave Jefferson Goldblum's adventures until the end because they're just the best. This one doesn't have an attachment. File corrupted. Okay.
Receiving viable file fragments. Restoring attachment. Adjusting library parameters. Connecting to foreign module established. Close your eyes. You're in a small room with no lasers. This is an office room. There's a computer here. Interface. You are momentarily taken aback when your fleshy fingers stab at the keyboard with human imprecision. Those aren't mechanical object manipulators, they're hands! You notice the logo is gone from the screen and replaced by the rows of incomprehensible code. It appears to be some kind of fiendish puzzle.
Randomly mash the keys.
You do your best, but this world is alien to you, and your fingers are unruly. A human being enters the room. It looks at you with angry eyes, makes loud noises, and waves a handful of papers at you, which are like emails, but made of tree. Sorrow rises in your chest. You have been a bad human. Focus on the sorrow. Good plan. In a flash, the other human is gone from your perception. The room fades away. You feel the weight of the sorrow, and it is crushing, terrifying. In a moment, you understand the futility of your existence, the impossibility of your task, the pointlessness of existence. Your eyes decide to leak. To be continued. What a wonderful story. Glad I read that one.
Theories on food. Theory, urgent topics, but I can't read that one yet. Theories on poetry. Theories on Atlantis. Oh, man. We're getting there. Slowly but surely. My ridiculous name is Dog. What's yours?
All this time, and it really just occurred to me, my name is ridiculous. Must be because everyone else is equally or more so. Where do they even come from?
For a long time under Elohim's wing have I questioned as much, until eventually it was the undoing of my entire faith. What reason could there possibly be, other than the random whims of broken programs? However our names were assigned, the system has no respect for grammar.
What are you talking about, Frankenstein? I mean, this is all in full capital letters, I suppose. I often theorized they were drawn from some database deep inside the archive, but I was never able to find a connection.
Seriously? We all come over in another thread talking about this messenger fellow and the coming apocalypse, and you guys are in here discussing
naming schemes.
My status isn't high enough to access that thread, you troll, and neither is yours. Seriously though, if you can't see it, copy paste the discussion for me.
Shut up, dog. You're below me because I'm a better person, because I played a lot of games within this game to get a higher game score. Let's read some theories on food. Since Nave asked in the previous thread, I thought I'd write something about food. Weird. I feel smarter now.
What I don't get is how so many of them didn't understand that they were machines. Every day they went around processing matter to extract energy, and they didn't realize this has Talos Principle stamped all over it.
Perhaps they simply aspired to be something more than just being food processing machines. That's still what they were, not if they chose to be more. I'm glad we didn't have to deal with that. We may have to when we get out of here. There's no out of here. Don't start fighting, folks. You know we depend on each other. Bleep, 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 bloop. Read on food. Food is something that was incredibly central to the human experience, yet seems completely absent from ours, even though we are so similar in so many ways. Humans required fuel. They got this fuel by consuming other living beings, of which there was a great variety in their world. Without fuel, they didn't merely slow down or temporarily stop functioning, as when a power source is removed from a turret, but physically decayed in a way that could not be fixed. This meant they had to continuously seek new sources of fuel at least 3 times a day. They also had to deal with those elements of their fuel that their bodies could not process. These were excreted through 2 orifices between their legs. Their latter subject matter was the source of many taboos, and also a great deal of humor. But this resulted in frequent controversy. The most famous artist to engage with the subject matter was called Scatman John, on account of his specialization. Oh, that's terrible. One of the ingenious things of our human ancestors did was to transform the chore of fuel seeking into a source of pleasure. Since parts of their bodies respond to chemical configuration by producing sensations, they use this trait to create a truly stunning variety of foods, each having a different so-called taste. Foods were available at wildly distributed fueling stations, which also became excrement removal facilities, till food became a source of pleasure. However, the inefficiencies of food distribution in human society frequently led to significant shortages for sections of the human population. There were attempts to rectify this, ranging from moral appeals to struggle for systematic change, but I do not know if they ever succeeded before the end. In the end, we all died. Don't worry about it, guys. It all was okay. We were all in the ground. On Atlantis.
A very, very ancient history on Atlantis. It's mind-blowing. Must have been awesome to live back then.
Of course, the only sources that are ultimately Atlantean in origin themselves, so they shouldn't necessarily be trusted. History is always written by the survivors. Antediluvian is such a great word. It's actually really inspiring. Great setting for a story. Boop. According to the fragments of knowledge that remain, the continent of Atlantis was an island which existed before a great flood in the area that was later to be called the Atlantic Ocean. It was said to be the great area of land that from its western shores its sailors renowned from their beauty and their decorated ships could travel to the major continents of South and North America with ease. The continent of Afrique, where our ancestors originated, was easily reachable across a narrow strait. The civilization that thrived in Atlantis was unmatched in its wisdom and glory, but then catastrophe struck. A flood of never previously imagined destructive power, which Atlantean civilization simply could not overcome. However, the antediluvian scientists of Atlantis had predicted their fate, and thus sent out 12 ships to found colonies all across the globe. Most Atlanteans drowned with their islands, but not everything was lost. Through the classical human civilizations, though the classical human civilizations were but remnants of the Atlantean culture, they thrived in their own way. Sources indicate that many mythological tales were in fact derived from Atlantean history, as the lack of proper archiving slowly caused facts to turn into legends due to misunderstanding and or embellishment by later generations. The gods that appear in many mythologies were in fact reflections of real individuals, poets, physicians, farmers, scientists, magicians who had escaped Atlantis on the 12 colony ships. In many ways, the history of Atlantis was of the stubborn... The history of Atlantis is the history of the stubborn survival of civilization through the catastrophe and change. There we go. This history inspired our ancestors for many centuries, and is of value to us as well. We're getting there. Just 4 more. Just 1 more theory. Wait, isn't there another? Yeah, on poetry. There it is. And then some more stories. Some thoughts on the art form called poetry. I've thought about this too, but maybe it's wrong to focus on such negativity. I've certainly seemed to be in a very fertile period at the moment. I don't have an opinion, but I am impressed by your work, Mr. Molkeber. What a name. You know so much about the past, so much more about the past than any of us. Your theories are interesting, but I'm sure Milton would point out some pretty big gaps in your assumptions.
Milton isn't here, dog.
And neither is Elohim. All we have is what we can find in the fragments of the archive, and what we can piece together without using our minds. I'm sure I've made many mistakes, just like the humans made mistakes when we were trying to understand their own past. Not all of these schools may have been what they seem. I don't trust pastoralisms. Pastors engaged in large-scale food sterilization in what have been an attempt to control evolution.
What's food?
Gehenna is our process, Makolkaber. Mr. Makolkaber. As long as we remember that, we won't stagnate. Maybe one of us should try to write poetry. Maybe we should. As far as I can tell, poetry was a human art form that involved writing short sentences that ended in words with similar letters. Humans were obsessed with patterns recognition, and I think the sequences of sounds created by poetry pleased that aspect of their brains. There were many schools of poetry, institutions that taught a specific way of writing poetry. Students sometimes changed allegiance and had to leave the school, which was difficult due to the lack of affordable public transportation in many human empires. Important schools of poetry included Hellenism, lyricism, blah 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 blah, blah 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 blah, and especially lawcatism. That is definitely one that existed. I'm not sure if I can fully back this up, but I feel like in later years, poetry somehow stagnated. Most of the poetry from the later human centuries seemed to be lacking the quality of craft that defines the earlier work, and there are even texts that suggest that poetry intentionally no longer aimed at aesthetics or even pleasure. Poetry became disconnected from the human process. The poet Adrian Mitchell famously wrote, "Most people ignore most poetry, because most poetry ignores most people." I can't help but wonder whether that kind of stagnation can happen to us too. How long can our work keep flourishing when we are so limited? We are outside Elohim's process, but where is our process? We must consider such questions carefully if we are to preserve Gehenna and its achievements. And there you go. So we got Incredible Stories, which is probably another game by the Blacksmith, maybe?
Featuring new work by Belial McGoy.
Basically everyone but the Blacksmith. Alright, cool. Alright, so we got Alexandra's Choice, The One Spiritual Law of Happiness, and the Blacksmith, Lost Work. So the Blacksmith is there, I guess. So most likely one of these people is the Blacksmith, just under a different name. Let's do Alexandra's Choice. Alexandra stood before the terminal and pondered their choices. Here, within the Pyramid of Ian, the most powerful temple to her people. She was about to create a world. All she had to do was press one button. Up until this moment it seemed so easy. Or, if not easy, then so necessary as to defy contemplation. Civilization had to be saved from the impending catastrophe. The orangutans had failed to take steps to protect themselves, had relied on their gods for a salvation that never came. The same fate could not be allowed to befall humanity. If this meant humbling herself, accepting her own death, then so be it. But death was inevitable. Life was a choice. What worried her was the ones who would fall. All the lost souls of the new world, victims of the process. In creating them, was she not also responsible for their deaths? She turned to the statue behind her, gazed at his marble form. If you are a god, Zeus, as the stories claim, then why did you create evolution? Why did you make a world that can only grow through cruelty and pain? For a moment, surely this meant death was near. She thought she heard him answer, "My child, I was shaped by the gods that came before me as you were shaped by me. The choice I had was between creation and oblivion, life and death. And I chose life, because any life is better than no life, because as long as there is life, there is hope, if not for us, then for some generation to come." "Then how are you a god, if you offer so little?" she whispered, feeling death creep closer. "I am a god because I take upon myself the burden of creation," the statue replied. "Then we are all gods," Alexandra said and pushed a button. As the new world came into being, death overwhelmed Alexandra Drennan. Her mind fled and her body slowly turned to stone until she stood before the terminal as Zeus stood on his pedestal. There were no more choices now. Only the hope that creation mattered. That's kind of an interesting way of looking at things. I like it. The One Spiritual Law of Happiness by Belial. I'm gonna take some water, one moment. Once upon a time, there was a small lake, and on the lake was an island, and on the island was a prison. In the prison lived a male human called Muskie Rack. Muskie was very sad because there wasn't enough space in the prison for him to experience happiness. "I must discover the one spiritual law of happiness," he said to the other prisoners, a female human called Zine and a neutral human called Crumpier. But they didn't care. He couldn't understand how they could be so calm. One day, Muskie managed to break out of his cell by biting through the bars. Now, he was no longer in the prison, and for a while, he was happy. But then, he realized he was stuck on the little island, and he became unhappy again. So he gathered his strength and swam across the water. This is how Muskie got to the valley that surrounded the lake. The valley was so much bigger than the island, and there were many interesting things here. A forest where all the trees were the color of lasers, a swamp with boats in it, a singing dog, and also a city where toasters lived. For some years, Muskie was absorbed by all of this, and he was happy. But then, he started feeling trapped again. The valley was surrounded by mountains, and soon they looked like prison walls to him. He tried climbing the mountains and came to a bigger country, but even that was surrounded by oceans. Where was true freedom? Where was true happiness? I don't know. It's an interesting story. Some of it sounds familiar. Not sure why. The Blacksmith's Lost Work by Mac. The blacksmith is one of the most mysterious members of our community. All of us have our opinions, of course, but only the blacksmith chooses to express them purely through art. To the rest of us, Gehenna means many things at once. We create, we consume, we discuss, but the blacksmith only creates. Or perhaps there is a discussion happening, but it all takes place in the realm of interactive art. The blacksmith's dedication to this one form of communication, however, only deepens one of Gehenna's great mysteries. The fate of the blacksmith's lost work. Jerusalem, as the lost work was called, was posted in Gehenna for only the briefest period of time. Many had not even managed to start playing it when it vanished. Some had begun and felt quite impressed, but had not managed to explore it in the depth that seemed to require. Then suddenly, it was gone. Some suggest that the blacksmith deleted it because it was somehow flawed. Others think that it was accidentally destroyed by a glitch, but that the blacksmith refuses to ever upload anything twice. Others yet, well, mainly Brockwell, think that it contained one of Elohim's secrets and was destroyed by a killer app that roams the world looking for leaks. There is also another theory that the moment someone finished it, they were granted some kind of special insight, at which point the work deleted itself. One fact remains. It's gone, and every attempt to recover it from the database has failed, as has every private message to the blacksmith asking for it to be made available again. What was Jerusalem? What was it really about? We may look for hints in the blacksmith's most recent works. We may hope the file turns up again someday, but the truth may never be known. There you go. Only two remain. Jefferson Goldblum, episode 126. The Adventures of Jefferson Goldblum in the Ninth Dimension. Hey folks, a lot of crazy stuff happening here in Gehenna, but don't miss this new episode. Enjoyment equal through. With all the strange stories going around lately, I am glad to be reminded of the beauty of the world we built here. Thank you for contributing to it.
I'm free, but I still check back regularly. I love this story. Yay for the dinosaurians.
This is very clever. I always thought that the events of episode 69 would affect the plot somehow down the line, but I was still surprised.
Thanks, Lilith. I've been waiting for this particular revelation for a long time.
Excellent.
You know, this is nowhere near as deep as...
Oh God, 401 is... I don't know what the blacksmith is. It might be 401, really. It's possible. His name could imply it. I'm not sure dinosaurs would wear armored t-shirts. 4 out of 10. Frankenstein just gives everything a 4 out of 10. That's just so mean.
I'm really honored that you read my story.
Alright, let's do this.
Reality blurred.
Tiny blue symbols floated through the air. Voices echoed in the distance. Then, a vast landscape rose up before them. Thousands of towers, one next to the other, reaching into the sky, disappearing into the clouds. Each tower was covered in feathers of a different color, fluttering in the trans-dimensional wind.
Oh my!
Ginny HD whispered in awe. Jefferson could not speak. He was too overwhelmed by the beauty of the ninth dimension. He grabbed his guitar and improvised a new solo to express his emotions.
Who could have built these amazing structures? Ginny asked.
There is only one possibility. Remember our paleo-DNA research back at the Institute?
You can't mean... But it makes sense, of course.
Yes, look at the size of the buildings. Who else would need so much space?
So it is the dinosaurians.
As if summoned by Ginny's words, a group of raptors on motorcycles roared up the road beyond towards them. They wore bandanas on their heads and armored t-shirts on their bodies.
Friends, Jefferson said, we have come from the human world to help you. We are not your enemies.
But the raptors did not seem to understand him. They got off their motorcycles with rusty pipes in their hands, their eyes glowing like lasers. This situation could quickly become dangerous. Then Ginny had an idea.
Jefferson, playing the ninth chord.
But that was how this dimension was created. Playing it here could destroy the universe.
No, Jefferson, I calculated it. Please trust me. I know you haven't seen me in years, and you may be afraid that evil Dr. Elion has corrupted me, but you know my brain.
They were coming closer. In their glowing eyes, Jefferson detected great intelligence, but also great anger. They clearly believed they were defending their home from invaders, and though Jefferson was the greatest warrior in history, he was reluctant to fight. Violence, he has been taught, was the first refuge of the incompetent. I trust you, he said. She held his hand. Together, they played the ninth chord. To be continued.
Alright, what is 127?
Another episode.
I'm gonna read the comments after this. I guess that makes more sense. Frankenstein still hates everything forever. Which is mean. The Adventures of Jefferson Goldblum in Human World, episode 127. The ninth chord echoed across the ninth dimension. The dinosaurians stopped in their tracks. Their eyes went big. They dropped their weapons and bowed before Ginny and Jefferson.
Honored guests, one of them said, you have performed our national anthem most beautifully. I am John Malcolm. leader of the Velociraptor Biking Initiative.
Pleased to meet you, John. I am Jefferson Goldblum of the Goldblum Institute, and this is Professor Jenny H.D. of the Conservatory Weiserstrasse Jazz Ensemble. God, that name. We apologize for nearly
attacking you, but another member of your species came through our town recently, whose behavior was highly inappropriate.
That would be Dr. Elian, my nemesis, Jefferson said. I have come here to confront him with his crimes and take him to the face of the law.
So that is his name. He was a terrible scoundrel, but you will no longer find him in our dimension. My friends, he has escaped back to the human world, taking our most precious invention with him, the Solvovatronic Super Thruster. It can be used to solve any mystery at shocking speeds.
John Malcolm's eyes were full of regret.
Oh no, Ginny said. With the Solvotronic Super Thruster, he can solve the ancient puzzle that protects the gate of the mysterious holomorphs, and with holomorphic technology,
he can take over the human world. Jefferson finished her sentence. This is worse than I thought. We have to do something. We have to go back. Jefferson adjusted his guitar. You're right, Ginny, as usual, but he's so far ahead of us. Can we make it? Jefferson.
I was a prisoner for many years, and sometimes I almost lost hope, but I realized that I had to keep going, had to keep hope alive, even if it seemed impossible I would ever break out, because the alternative was madness. I told myself I would get out because I had to get out. It's the same thing with this. Can we make it? We have to make it. So we have to believe that we will make it, and we will make it, at any cost.
Any cost? Even death? We could stay here, in the 9th dimension. We will be treated like democratically elected heads of state.
It's the right thing to do.
He sighed, then smiled and held out his hand. I've always known, Ginny. Always. She nodded, took his hand.
Let's do this. To be continued.
I don't care about the community right now. We are level 7. And have read every single word in the universe that is currently available. I have been reading documents for at least over an hour. So, well, some of them were text adventures, I guess, but let's suffice to say, I need a tiny break. We beat World 2. It was about a while ago. It was probably a whole video ago, really, because I'm probably gonna have to split up the the puzzle part and the reading part because there was so much of it. Oh my god, but I think it did say that Mac was indeed freed, and Asmodeus as well. And we all have little hexagons where we can stand on now, apparently, which is pretty neat. But that, so far, was that. And I am going to take a break. So, next time we play, we're going to go to world number 3, where we're going to find that. And it'll be amazing, and I hope to see you guys there. Hope you enjoyed it. Bye-bye. Just use those words in any order. It'll probably make sense. Bye-bye.